Hi guys, so for today, we will be having a new topic. So our topic for today is all about globalization. So when you hear the word globalization, there are lots of definitions that will come up into your mind. So the question is globalization an idea? Is it a process? Or is it a condition? So I stand for globalization. It's a process. But let's define first what is globalization. So the concept of globalization is currently a popular but very controversial issue and has been one of the most widely debated issues since communism collapsed. So debates currently ranging about globalization include whether it even exists, whether it is more important now than at some earlier date, whether it is displacing the nation state, and whether it is more important than regionalism or localism. So it means different things to different people, but in most cases remain a loose and ill-defined concept. So globalization has several definitions, but an indisputable fact which everyone agrees to is the fact that it is a complex process that has wide varying impacts on economies, both developed and developed. So globalization refers to the integration between the people, the companies, and governments. Most noteworthy, this integration occurs on a global scale. Furthermore, it is the process of expanding the business all over the world. So in globalization, many businesses expand globally and assume an international image. So consequently, there is a requirement for a huge investment to develop international companies, and the globalization allows the companies to find lower cost ways to produce their products, and it is also increases the global competition which drive prices down and creates a larger variety of choices for consumers. The globalization lowered the cost and helped people in both developing and already developed countries to live better on less money. So the question again is globalization an idea? Is it a process or is it a condition? Well, for me, globalization is a process because everything that happens in the world undergoes with a process. And globalization is a process because according to my sources or the ideas that I gathered, globalization is defined as a set of processes. It can be economic, social, cultural, technological, and institutional that contribute to the relationship between the societies and the individuals around the world. It is a progressive process by which exchanges and flows between the different parts of the world we are intensified. So globalization are also a set of processes that weakening the boundaries, the national boundaries, both transnational and local social movements develop to resist the processes of globalization, migration, and economic interdependence, the global media coverage of events and issues, and the intergovernmental relations. So globalization not only spurs the creation of social movements, but affects the way many social movements are structured and work. So globalization is a process of change. It consists of the flow of a multitude of forces, the flow of capital, the flow of technology, the flow of information, and the flow of people, cultural ideas, and the knowledge. Applications of these flows act as a catalyst for the economic, social, political, and cultural change. In many instances, quality of life has been improved for those who live in developing nations. For many developing nations, globalization has led to an improvement in standard of living through improved roads and transportation, improved healthcare, and improved education due to the global expansion of corporations. However, globalization is also affecting us in a negative way. Increased transportation and the global shift of polluting manufacturing industries has resulted in environmental degradation. So the pollution is affecting people's health and having negative impact in our biodiversity levels globally. But what do you think will happen if there was no globalization? What would you think would happen to our world, to our universe if there was no globalization? So far, we have been discussing the system creating levels globally, but what do you think would happen if there was no globalization? what would you think would happen to our world, to our universe, if there was no globalization? So far, we have been discussing the system created by the globalization, which is clearly beneficial to those rich corporations. If there was a way to travel back in time and stop globalization before globalization even started, what would the world look like today without globalization? Without globalization, our world would become a closed system, meaning we would not know what will happen or what happened to other countries. This also means no sharing of inventions and discoveries. We will not have affluent countries colonizing poorer countries because those affluent countries would not know about the natural resources found in the poorer countries. And overall, there will not be any categorization of rich and poorer countries. So that will be all. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have learned something from me. Goodbye. God bless.